So I saw this on social media today. Um, I think a meme. It's not a meme. It's just a picture with a whole bunch of text below it. Whatever. But allegedly it's a meme because that word doesn't mean anything anymore. So yeah, it's it's basically a little story from a hiring manager at some company, and here it goes. I'm in the midst of hiring. I had one applicant who was exactly what my organization was looking for. Unfortunately, she informed us via email that she was no longer interested in the opportunity. So, we moved on to our second candidate. Later, I got a call from the applicant wondering if we had found somebody else for the job. I told her that she said she wasn't interested, and and showed her the email that she had sent us. Apparently, she didn't send it. She had recently broken up with her boyfriend during her application process, and he hacked into all her accounts and messed her life up. He deleted all of her social media and also sent us a false email saying she was no longer interested. So now this sounds terrible. I mean, absolutely, like what the ex did to her, absolutely terrible. But something that nobody seems to have noticed in the comments on this, or the person who wrote this story, or the person who posted this story, is that this was completely avoidable if the hiring manager had just taken a small amount of personal responsibility and been a little bit nicer as a human being in general. Because, as I note in my comment, which I'm going to read, there's something he could have done very simply that should just be what he does as a matter of course that would have solved this problem for everyone. So, here's my comment. At what point does this guy take responsibility for not responding back to her in the first place with something like, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You are a good fit for us. If you're interested in working with us in the future, please contact us." So if I'm in trying to get people, to work with me for something, and like there's somebody who's like, "Damn, I would really like to have you on the team," but something comes up, I'm not just gonna be like, "No." I'm gonna be like, "Oh, okay, well that okay, I understand." Um, but yeah, if you ever wanna come see if you can work for us again in the future, absolutely, because you seem awesome. If this hiring manager had just done something along those lines, this problem would have been resolved both for the company, they would have gotten their first pick of hires, and for the girl, she would have gotten a fucking job. But the hiring manager in his story, he just acts like everybody's a victim and that the ex boyfriend totally screwed over everybody. That's not really what happened. That's not really what happened. Both the hiring manager and the boyfriend screwed her over. And the hiring manager screwed himself over by just not having a complete reasonable way of going about his daily life. Like, okay, you're trying to hire people. If somebody submits an application and then later says, something else came up, you should follow that up. Like, and they're a good candidate. You want them, right? You should follow that up and be like, "Oh, sorry to hear that. Best of luck at your wherever you end up. If you're ever interested in us again, please contact us because." Right. So now, if this isn't the normal situation, but if she didn't send that first email, now what's going to happen is she's going to see this response and have an ability to be like, "Whoa, what the fuck? What the fuck just happened?" And that's going to happen a lot sooner than her, like, a few weeks down the line being like, hey, so did you just go with somebody else? You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? The employer is not being a responsible human being here. They're not being a good person. Right? They're just being like, oh, you went with somebody else? Fuck you! And then when they do contact you back, be like, oh, yes, yes, I'm so sorry to hear that you went with somebody else. Here's proof that you said that. Which is, again, it's a fuck you. That's how that works. Like, my previous video talking about how the way people normally talk is fucking useless. This is an example of that. The things that are happening here are not helpful. This is a problem. It's a problem that you can fix by just... It's not hard to be a responsible person. You just have to actually do it. You can't sit there and do nothing and then say, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. A lot of times doing nothing is doing something wrong, as is the case here. This is a very mild example. Some of them are much worse. But this is definitely an example of doing nothing being the wrong thing to do and being a harmful thing to do. I just don't get it. Like, how does everybody have the mindset that both the company and the girl are victims here? The company is guilty. The hiring manager is guilty of screwing over the girl. You don't see that. How do you not see that?